Hi, I'm Leigh Halliday, and today we're going to learn how to render 10,000 markers onto a map in Google Maps and React without any performance implications, and we'll do that by clustering them together. So why don't we get started by just getting a map being rendered to the screen. Right now we're starting out with a component that just renders a div that says the word map, so that's what we have so far. So we'll quickly get a map up and running, and we're using the Google Map provider by Google Map React Hooks package by Ubi Labs, and it needs three things to get up and running. The first thing it needs is the map API key. So we'll pass it here by accessing the environment variables, and we have our key over here in .env.local. So we'll copy and paste that, and then we'll paste that in here. That's the first thing. The second thing it needs are initial options. So we'll say map options, and we need to go and set that variable up. So we'll say map options is equal to. So we're going to set the zoom to a default of 12, and we're going to set the center of the map to be about in Toronto. So that's a latitude of 43.68 and a longitude of minus 79.43. So we'll save that, and we still don't have a map up and running. So that's the third thing that we need. And the third thing is a div to render the map into, a map container that we're going to actually attach the Google Map instance to. So we'll put the div in here, and we need to basically store a ref to this in state. So we're going to set that up by say map container and set map container is equal to use state with an initial value of null, and the ref prop can receive a function that when rendered for the first time it will call this. So we're going to say take the DOM node and pass it to set map container, the node like that, and then we need to give this map container to our Google Map provider. So we'll pass it like this. We're almost there. We're just missing one thing. It would be working except for the height of this div is actually 0 pixels. So we just need to style this by giving it a height of 100 VH. So when we do that, we should have a map up and running in Toronto, zoomed in at a level of 12. So the next thing we're going to do is once this loads, we want to basically take 10,000 data points. So what we are working with today are 10,000 trees. So these are the locations of trees in Toronto. So we have the kind of tree and then its latitude and longitude. So we're going to be taking these trees and rendering them. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up an onload function, and we're going to memoize it for performance implications. So use callback. What we're going to do is take in the map instance and then call add markers passing the map. And we just want this to happen one time. We only want one version ever of this function. So we'll pass in the onload function to the onload prop. And we just need to go and create this function here below. So we're going to say function add markers, which will receive an instance of the map. And like I mentioned, we want to take these 10,000 trees or 10,000 data points and basically get 10,000 markers. So we're going to access the trees and then map them. And each tree is the name of the tree, the latitude, and the longitude. So what we want to do is create a new marker. So const marker, and it will be equal to new google.maps.marker. And what we're going to pass to it is just the position of it. So we're going to say position, lat, and long of the tree, just like that, and we'll save it. So we're going to come down here, we're going to return the marker. So if we were to sort of take these markers and add them to this map, it would work, but it would be really slow because it's a lot of work for the browser to render 10,000 markers. So instead, what we want to do is use the marker clusterer, which is from a package provided by Google. And it will basically control how to group these markers together so that you're maybe only rendering out 100 markers at a time, not 10,000. So we're going to create a new instance of the marker clusterer, and we're going to pass in three things. So we're going to pass in the markers, so the 10,000 markers that we created. We're going to tell it what map to render. So when onload is called, which calls this memoized callback function, it will pass us the map, and so we have access to it here. And the last thing we can do is control the algorithm. This is an optional step, but I just wanted to cover it. And basically the algorithm is how it clusters these markers together. So we're going to pass in a new instance of the supercluster algorithm, and we're going to control the radius of the clusters. So we're going to start off at 200, which I've found works pretty good, but then we're going to tweak it and see what happens. So if we come back here and we just reload the screen, now we've got the 10,000 trees, but there's not 10,000 markers, they're being clustered together. So in this one marker here, there's 493 trees. So if we click it, it will zoom us in, break that apart into new clusters. And if we keep going down, we eventually get the actual trees being rendered on the map. In a second, what we're going to do is add the ability to, when clicking on them, display an info window that tells us what tree that is. But we'll get there in a second. I just wanted to first show you what happens if you tweak the radius. So if we make it larger, 500, and we refresh, you're going to get a lot fewer clusters. It's basically increasing the clustered area that it's working with. And if we decrease this to 100, we're going to have a lot more showing up. And in my opinion, this is too many. So 200 should work for what we're doing. I think that's a good sort of balance that we're dealing with. And I want to now add, when I click one of these, the markers themselves, not the clusters, I want to show an info window with the tree. So we're going to come up here and we're going to work with one info window that will basically get its content updated depending what marker you click on. So we'll say info window is a new google.maps.info window, and we won't give it anything now, but what we're going to do is basically add a listener for when you click the marker. So add listener for the click event, call this function when you're clicked, and what we're going to do is set the info window position to be the latitude and longitude of the tree that's being clicked on that corresponds to this marker. And then we're going to take the info window. Did I spell that right? No, I messed up one of them. There we go. And we're going to set its content. So we're going to just do this as a string. So we're going to have a div, and we'll add a little bit of styling. I set up a class of info window. If we go look in styles, we can see that it basically just sets the color of the text and link color. And within this div, we'll put an h2. And the value inside of here will be the name of the tree, just like this. We have to do one last thing. We actually have to open that info window. So info window.open, and we'll just make sure we tell it what map to open into. So if we save this and refresh, now when we click one of these, we should see the tree that's located at that position. So if we were to move into a cluster, let's move into this 30. So eventually we're now seeing some actual trees. So we can see that's a linden tree, a maple tree, a basswood American tree, an elm tree. And that's how you can render out 10,000 markers onto a map without dealing with the performance implications of actually rendering all 10,000 markers at once. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.